Well, the Democratic National Convention kicks off tonight, and we'll have coverage of the speeches very soon. Most of the attention will be on the personalities on the stage and their backgrounds, but it's worth knowing where the Democrats stand. What are they advocating for? What kind of country would they build if they take control? And for that, take a look at the party's platform. And there's a lot in there you should know about, including eliminating the nation's prisons and transforming the suburbs with mandatory low-income housing. And, of course, there's guaranteed abortion access for men. Abortion access for men. Now, this might seem like a bad joke, but that's where Joe Biden comes in. He'd like to assure you over and over again that nothing could be more serious than providing abortions for men.
The rest of the world watches the debates. Not a joke. Not a joke. Fact. Not a joke. Fact. Not a joke. Not a joke. No, think about it. I'm not joking. No, I really mean that. I'm not joking now, okay? For real, you think I'm joking? I'm not joking. We didn't have anybody, not a joke, who could turn on the streetlights. You hear me? Not a joke. That is not a joke. I really mean it. Not a joke. It's not a joke. 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 You think I'm joking? I'm not joking.
We'll repeat ourselves as we get older, but there are limits. But at bottom line, it's not a joke. The Democratic Party, a major party, one of two, is running on a platform that claims men can get pregnant. And nobody is saying anything about this. Sarah Huckabee Sanders is former White House press secretary, author of the upcoming book, Speaking for Myself, Faith, Freedom, and the Fight of Our Lives Inside the Trump White House. She joins us tonight. Sarah, thanks so much for coming on. I always wonder, as I watch the coverage of this campaign, but of politics more broadly, why do we hear so little about the ideas? Why does nobody talk about one party claims men can get pregnant? That's prima facie insane. Why is that not a headline every day?
Even if you took men out of the equation and you focus on the fact that they support taxpayer-funded abortion anytime for anyone for any reason, that alone is disgraceful and should disqualify Joe Biden from being president.
I agree with that.
You hear the Democrats and Biden completely and falsely talk about how they have compassion and empathy for everyone, except for the very most vulnerable people in our society, the unborn children. The fact that they don't stand up for them and do everything they can to protect them, I think disqualifies them. And any person that is pro-life should have no ability to vote for Joe Biden and the Democrats who make this part of their party platform and a pillar of what they stand for. Not only will they not protect children in the womb, they also won't protect them in their communities. This is a party who never seen before in our history have we seen a political party disparage the brave men and women of our police force and be so taken by the left-wing mob, the defund the police wing of their party, and allow communities to be completely overtaken by crime. Any person that wants to live in a safe community and doesn't want to see this type of thing continue can't in good conscience vote for Joe Biden and the Democrats. This should serve as a wake-up call to every community in America that has been ravaged by crime, that this is not a ticket you can trust to make you safer. In fact, it's the opposite. I think the idea that they are for compassion and empathy is laughable.
Well, they've got the corporate position, which is that people are disposable, divide the country so you can exploit the country. I mean, I get it. And as if to underscore that point, it was announced today, the Democrats announced today that one of the head lobbyists at Google, who I should say, in the interest of fairness, I know personally is a very nice person, but still one of the chief lobbyists for Google, will be one of their convention speakers. I mean, could it be more obvious the tie between big tech, corporate America, and the Democratic Party?
Not at all. I think we have seen big tech aggressively start to censor conservatives. You know, they say that it's because there's false information. Where were all of the big tech companies censoring the people who spread for 2 years the Russia witch hunt hoax that disparaged and tried to destroy our country and take down a duly elected president? Where were they to censor those moments? Non-existent. They only start to silence people when they have opinions they don't agree with. It is a very dangerous road, and I think you can see how they work hand in hand constantly. I think the convention speech is a perfect example, and a sad one at that.
A Google lobbyist. It's really revealing. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, thanks so much, and congrats on the book.